Hi, my name is Cecilia.
Hi, I'm Serene.
Hi, my name is Marcus.
My name is Shani.
My name is Jet Lee.
And I study abroad. I'm an international student from India here at UFC.
I participated in the summer research program at the University of Liverpool.
So I went on the Japan 2024,
Where did I go on again?
I went on the 2024 group study program, Japan, Its Culture and Its Life.
I'm an international student from Colombia, and I came on an exchange program to University of Calgary.
I went to 2 places for exchange programs. I first went to Beijing, and then for the next semester I went to Singapore, and I studied at the National University of Singapore.
Self-care really has a big impact on your experience overall.
Taking care of your mental health really affects the way that you view your travel experience as a whole. If you leave things unsettled, then you're going to leave feeling unsettled during your travel experience.
From personal experience, if I imagine that I didn't take all these measures to take care of myself, what I would be like, I think I would have been pretty broken.
It's very important for you to have a good relationship with yourself, and as you're okay, you'll be able to have better relations with others.
It really helps to build resilience, to focus on your mental health and figure out what you need. And taking care of your mental health also prevents burnout, academic burnout, professional burnout, even just social burnout.
So ultimately, self-care during these kinds of trips and group study programs, or just abroad programs in general, are extremely important, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult for you to both academically and socially thrive in a newfound environment. And for me, it was especially important because I needed to focus on not only maintaining my own mental health and well-being, but also maintaining it for others in order for us to all have a very positive and nurturing experience during our trip.
It challenged me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There was a lot of different things on trial there.
These challenges came from something like, homesickness, jet lag,
trying to fit into a different culture.
Those unrealistic expectations.
The transportation.
Culture shock was a big one.
Kind of navigating unfamiliarity.
Kind of not being prepared for the unknown.
Yeah, the weather. Being in minus degrees is kind of hard for me. That's why right now I'm wearing thermal clothes.
Trying to figure out who I am in that different cultural space.
I went abroad during COVID, so there were some challenges coping with different pandemic regulations abroad. I've always been someone that's kind of bad with dealing with uncertainty. I always want to know what's going to happen, but that's just not how it goes when you're on exchange.
And also something that I struggle with is that I think I'm a very extroverted person, so it's very easy to talk to people, but to connect in a deeper level is difficult sometimes.
There are a lot of different aspects to well-being, such as physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. These are all super important to take care of while you're abroad.
So I believe that something that helps to manage stress is getting to know yourself and understanding why you behave like you do.
I really took time to check in with myself. I did a lot of journaling, kind of figured out where I was. It took a lot of identifying things that I wasn't paying attention to within myself, and figuring out what to do from there.
I needed to build better resilience to stressful situations, which I personally was not good at dealing with up until my GSP. I also needed to nurture the needs that worked best for me.
I just learned to be more mindful. What I mean by that is when a problem arises that makes me worried or anxious or something related, I tell myself to accept that this is already happened, that this is the reality, and instead of worrying about what is outside of my control, I focus on what I can do.
Self-soothing activities is a big one. I always love binge watching comfort shows. That's a big thing for me. I loved watching Modern Family.
Going home and kind of taking some time to watch a movie alone, away from my roommates.
So I really like to draw. So when I'm abroad, I kept that hobby and I kept it as a habit.
Artistic activities to express myself.
That and crocheting and knitting, anything that has to do with hands and tactile movements really helped for me.
Go take a shower or do some skincare, anything that made me calm down a little bit.
Been trying to do like some journaling and writing down my emotions.
Some of my self-care activities included
Therapy is something that helps me to understand which needs I need to nurture.
I would just take some time to myself, maybe cook a nice meal and just relax.
I feel like I took for granted, but exchange really made me realize the importance of was my support network.
taking the time to talk to some of my newfound friends in case I was feeling stressed or anything, communicating with my professor or any other leaders in charge in case I was feeling stressed out.
Whenever I found that I was in need of some self-care, I always made sure that I would take time to evaluate what I was feeling and go from there.
I would say also like stay active. Don't let yourself down. Like go outside, try to do like new activities, stay surrounded by people, and that's something I would recommend.
I would really recommend making a solid wellness plan before you leave, just so you know what to expect and what to do in case there is any need for a wellness check.
Something I think people should have is a plan for their wellness activities, especially like having a good alimentation, taking some time for yourself, doing activities that nurture yourself.
For me, it really helps to also bring comfort items. That might be as simple as, let's say, a necklace that your mom gave you, or for me, it's a lot of plushies and things like that. I always bring a little plushie keychain, so it's like small, but it's something you can like play with if you need to, and it reminds me of home.
Don't forget about your support network. It's very easy to feel homesick when you're abroad and when you have to navigate a lot of like things by yourself and without someone by your side to experience it together. So rely on your support network when you're abroad, when you aren't feeling well, and even when you are, share those happy experiences with them.
Next, you need to know how to manage stress. So you need to be able to detect and understand those warning signs. You need to be able to understand what your triggers are, and you need to be able to understand how to manage them and how to control yourself.
Important when abroad to express your needs. So this can look like having a support group back home, such as doing calls with your family to check in and let them know how you're doing. You can also communicate this to friends you've made during the trip, or maybe a supervisor or professor at your host university. With that being said, it's always important to look up and write down your country's emergency number in case you ever need to use it. One of the challenges that comes with expressing your needs is sometimes it's difficult to figure out the best way to do this. So it really requires that sometimes you're able to get outside of your comfort zone to make sure that you're getting the support that you need.
Ultimately, these are shortcuts for your brain, helping you save energy and prioritize yourself when things get tough.
I think that the biggest advice that I would give to someone studying abroad is just to manage their expectations, because I think that sometimes you stray away from the fact that you're living abroad and doing lots of cool stuff because you have this idea in your head that things are going to be totally awesome and perfect, but there are still challenges that come with studying abroad that I think are often overlooked when you're entering the process. So it's just super important to keep in mind that there will be ups and there will be lows, and it's kind of up to you to be able to get what you want out of the experience.
This was a constantly evolving process that is going to look different for everybody at the end of the day.
I think because I was able to keep myself in a positive mindset and like do the things that I love, talk to my friends and families, that I still gained a positive learning experience from the overall journey while I was abroad. It made the experience much more meaningful and memorable, and now that I think of it, I only think of the happy moments, and I'm proud of myself for being able to go through all of those problems and figure my way out. I can't imagine that if I didn't take sort of the self-care measures, what I would think of my exchange experience, I think it would be much less valuable than I think of it now.
All right, awesome.
Yay.